Anyway, here I am with Alexander Pascal, whom I've known
Hi,
for.
Mike.
Hi, Alexander. I've known him for many years. We met at, I believe, a birthday party in the port in a long gone America, which is now.
Yes. It was like 8 or 10 years ago. Yeah.
It is easily that, and we don't like to remind ourselves of that fact. Anyway, I really want to talk about Alexander, about his life on the Riviera, his family, and also to talk about his occupation, which is an expert in Feng Shui. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Feng
So,
Shui. Yeah.
Feng Shui, great. I always have trouble with pronunciation. It's me, I guess. So we'll begin from the beginning. Alexander,
Okay.
how did you appear in Nice?
Well, it's because I was born in Paris and living there for 20 years, and then I married to a girl who was a diplomat, and we were sent to Kiev for 2 years. And after that, we had to decide either to go back to Paris or to go to Nice, where she was from. And well, I just said that, well, it's maybe a better climate in Nice, so let's go there. And I like traveling, and I didn't mind moving. So and I don't regret it. So I've been living in Nice since 2008. I had a bit of a troubles before to find some jobs because I was then area sales manager, and there are not many big companies around here. So, but finally, I managed to work like in Monaco for 8 years in security, in private banking. I was very active also as a member of associations. I was the general secretary of Mona Russia, if some of you know that. I was also international VP for GCI Monaco in 2017. I'm also the general secretary of AIDA Monaco, an association that promotes art. So I was quite active in the markets, and then I decided to create my own company 5 years ago. So I was first kind of a concierge, and then I become like more property manager. And today I'm quite happy with this. I'm managing like 10 apartments on the Promenade des Anglais. But my passion is more like for Feng Shui, as you mentioned earlier.
Which we'll talk about later. But before we get on to that, I'm really curious. I've talked to a lot of people about raising families, and I know you've got a family. I just want to know what you feel about raising a family somewhere like Nice or on the Riviera as compared to, say, Paris or indeed Russia, if you like.
Oh, well, for me, Nice is a perfect place to raise children. Well, I have myself a 16-year-old boy, and well, it was so nice to go swimming like every day of the year, because I'm also swimming in winter time when it's 13 degrees in January. Well, I didn't manage to. Sorry?
You're swimming when it's this cold.
Yeah. Well, before I was swimming without a suit, and now I'm wearing a shorties, but I'm still swimming. Yeah, it's very. So I really like the sea. I love the sea, and this is very good for me to live in Nice. And I'm a member of the Club Nautique in Nice, which enables me to sail or to do some paddle and to rest on the private beach. And so this is a very nice time with children, for example.
It's a perfect environment for children. It's nice to hear.
Yes, definitely.
I think it creates a nice balanced person as well.
Yes, because you've got everything. You can ski in wintertime, you can have a bath in the sea, you can do so many things here. And it's also the second airport in Paris, in France, sorry, after Paris. And so you can easily travel, well, mostly in direct flights to Northern Europe, of course, but for example, this weekend I'm going to Belgrade for 30 euro return ticket. So it gives also, it's a very nice place, a very nice hub, I would say.
Well, I think Belgrade's probably got snow at this moment, has it?
I'm not sure, but it's a bit colder than here, yeah.
I imagine it would be. Well, let's move on to Feng Shui and what that does for somebody. Is it something that can be applied to homes, or is it just offices? Tell us more.
Yeah, well, it can be applied to both actually. Feng Shui is the kind of the art of arranging spaces to create good energy. Basically, if you have to remember one thing, this is it. And then we have well, many different schools in it, many different methods to apply. For example, arranging furniture in an apartment in a certain way, because each sector, for example, in the living room, has to be arranged to be a feng shui. For example, if I take the southwest, which is a fame, a reputation, it's the sun, it's the light, it's the warmth. So there you can put some lamps, some diplomas of yours. So each sector of the living room has to be set in a certain way. And I did myself, of course, when I became an expert in feng shui, and I really felt the difference. I even found the love of my life.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Can happen, you see.
Do people contact you before they buy an apartment, before they start decorating, or do you tend to have to deal with what they've actually acquired?
Well, most of the time, yeah, I have to deal with what they acquired, because I think I don't work enough with architects. So if I would work with them, I think I could work with a project from the beginning. And of course, in this case, it's much easier to do a feng shui house or apartment or building or whatever. But most of the case, I have to adapt myself, and so I arrange office because, for example, every employee has a certain direction to be more to feel better in the company, and of course to be more productive. So and also for personal people, I met a lot of them at the Foire de Nice, which will be this year in March, I think, but I don't remember the dates. And I have a booth there, so I will be someday. So if you want to pass by, please.
Well, I saw you there last year.
Yeah,
and he invited me, and that was very interesting. I suppose people working from home would benefit greatly from having a quick cast over it, so that they're getting the best from their environment, that the energy, if you like, is moving smoothly.
This is definitely true, because I work myself in the best conditions, feng shui wise. I am oriented west. I have a big space in front of me, and I think I'm very productive when I work. But I don't mind also it's in the living room, so to have some space. But I don't mind having my office in the living room. It's not just as if I were looking for at my job all the time. I don't know. It's like a fusion.
Does it change according to what you're trying to do? Say, if you're working or you're trying to relax, do you reorientate the environment at all, or does it remain the same?
No, it remains the same. Yeah, once you put the balance in your apartment, you can just feel the good energy. This even my friends, when they come to my place, they say sometimes, oh, I feel there is something good, something, and they don't know what about feng shui. So I'm very pleased that even these kind of people can feel that.
Does it involve decluttering? Because that's the big issue.
Decluttering, you mean?
Yeah, taking stuff out of the place, removing objects.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, for example, I had some shark jaws or crocodile jaws, and I have to get rid of all of that, because you cannot really have dead animals in your place. You can't also have flowers, because flowers, they are dead, but you can have plants, as you can see in the back of my study. So there are certain rules to observe, but it's not very complicated.
So cut flowers are not allowed, but actual growing plants are.
Yes, because they're still alive.
Yeah, that really is interesting. Well, so we really need to think about how we contact you and find out more, apart from the Foire de Nice in March next year. Can people contact you in the meantime, and how do they do that?
Well, they can go to my website, azurfengshui.eu. But I also have an Instagram and a Facebook page, the same name, Azur Feng Shui. So just drop me a message, and I'll be very happy to answer you.
That's brilliant. Well, how long does it take? Supposing somebody has, let's say, a 2-room apartment, which is pretty standard in Nice. How long would
Yeah.
it take for you to sort of make an assessment and make a judgment? Just out of curiosity, I'm not committing to it, but I'm just asking.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Well, usually it takes me about 10 hours for a two-bedroom apartment, let's say.
Wow. And
Yeah,
what,
it's quite a long job because I do many, I study the methods of many schools. And well, you have to go on site, you have to check the orientation of every room, you have to ask the person some questions also. So and after the study is quite long, but
so,
it's I'm so passionate about it so that I don't see really the time flying.
well, I guess it takes what it takes, but I was just curious. So it's not just a quick glance over and here's what
Oh
you
no.
know.
Yeah, some people, some friends ask me, can you feng shui my apartment? I say, no, not in 5 minutes. Sorry, I can give you some tips, but no more.
Okay, I've got you. Well, at least we know that now. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of this with me.
My
Really
pleasure.
appreciate that. So let's have big smiles while I find the off button.
Okay, bye bye. Thank you.
Bye, Alexandra. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Me too.
Bye.
Bye.